My name's Nyagaka Ouko, and I'm going to give you a little experience about trying to patent a mobile cash transfer process. I wasn't scheduled to talk. Yesterday when I came, it's because of another reason which I'll tell you at the end of it all. But in the process, everything looked so nice, so simple. Then I was like, wait, is this the kind of process I went through? That's when I talked to him and told him, okay, well, probably people have not heard about this, but I would wish to just give my little experience, just to get to know, what you're talking about, what sometimes happens. Now, I'll start, I only have 5 minutes, so I'll only talk about what I think is a bit, kind of interesting. Around 2004, I wanted to send some cash to my mother in the village for her medication. And to cut the long story short, that money never got to get to her. And that's when I thought of a better way of sending it without it getting lost. So I did it by SMS, by sending credit to some fellow there who took the credit and, gave out the money less 100 shillings. And, it came to me, these things can happen. That is 2004. And I felt that was fast, really convenient and reliable. But the same year, end of 2004, I had agents in Kisumu, Eldoret, Kisii, Nakuru, and Nairobi. And I was mostly targeting friends. By November that year, I thought, okay, I think now this looks like a good business. I need my own, bank account and everything else. I do this business. So my first reaction, of course, was to have it registered. And so I approached the registrar of companies to register. By then I was calling it now Mobikash. I'd even had a name for it. So as a prerequisite, then I was asked to go to Treasury and get a letter. So same day, I left for Treasury and explained my story. What I was told was, first, there I say that I have stopped that business or else they arrest me. Because like they said, I was illegally operating a bank, a briefcase bank. But again, they went ahead. The lady was, it was a lady actually, she was good. She went ahead and gave me the conditions. Well, once you've stopped, then you can now start the process. But before we even talk to you, you have to come and tell us you have 10 million in the bank. I didn't know they have the money, but I still felt I needed to do something about it. So around December 2004, I wrote a proposal, the best way I knew it, and went to Kipi. I have a copy of the proposal even now. The officer at Kipi advised me that, well, this one here, well, looks like a good idea, but it will be better protected by the Kenya Copyright Board. So around February 2005, I presented the first copy to the Copyright Board. But during that year, I was mostly in and out of the country, so I really didn't follow it up the way I should have. By the end of the year, when I again came back, because I went for a contract outside the country, when I came back, I felt I needed maybe a lawyer who will speed up things. Because again, I discovered actually the initial copy had gotten lost. So in November 2005, I decided to use the services of a lawyer because I was feeling I was getting continuously frustrated. So I contracted Mr. James Ongondo. He's now a magistrate in one of the Kenyan courts. So consultations back and forth, that's between the lawyer, the Copyright Board, and myself. Finally, I was advised how to, go through it. And on 26th April 2006, I wrote the final proposal and a cover letter which I delivered again to the board. And in express time, by 28th April, I had a reply. There it is. I hope you can check the If you want to counter-check with the board, I know the board is here. If anybody wants to check, you can take the, there's a reference there. So finally, that's the letter I got from the copyright board, and as you can see, that is 2006. So it goes down there, you know, they are acknowledging, and by then they didn't even have certificates the way we know them now. And I was told the copyright will persist during the lifetime and 50 years after. They even went ahead to tell me that they will start a voluntary registration process, and they will get in touch with me once it's over. But the most important thing was, now your work is protected. So, because I knew my work was protected, I did the next best thing, shout it to the world. So my first stop was Safaricom, May 2006. I sent another one to Vodacom Tanzania. I even have the email up to now for the one for Vodacom Tanzania. And I had friends whom I thought could assist. I sent so many of them. And as they say, the rest is history. For those who know, around September 2006, Michael Joseph came on TV and said they are starting an Mpesa, a money transfer system. Even then, they had not even given it a name. It started later in 2007, around May. So when finally I discovered it's out, you know, it was a wake-up call. So I was like, wait a minute, that was my idea. It is protected by copyright. So I ran to the lawyer. Then the lawyer was like, no, those guys can't just do that unless there's something behind it. Look, get me some money. I'll go back and do research on that law and then get back to you. So I was like, but I thought you are a lawyer. You should have known this. Then that's when I started discovering, they are intellectual property lawyers. But then, to cut the long story short, he came back to me and told me, no, I don't think we have a case. So I had to cool my heels and relax, forget about it. It was a tough moment, but I had to move on. So 6 years later, I went to copyright board a second time trying to, copyright something else. Then they told me, okay, after all this, pay this amount, leave your document here, and after like a week, come back for the certificate. And I was like, you issued certificate. Then I brought some work in 2006. Where is my certificate? And then, of course, it was a little fight. As you can see there, there was a small fight. I had to get a lawyer and write a serious letter. I was actually headed for the courts. Then, well, they gave me that. They told me, okay, fine, you pay the money. It was some sort of, we had lots of back and forth communication, but finally they said, okay, it's your document still, you can get it, and there it is. Now, I only have a few issues. I've been to Kipi over the same issue. I know so much what has passed under the bridge. If I show you the first document I have still at Kipi, at the copyright board, and Mpesa as we know it, definitely you'll see a very big difference because, it's been almost 5 years, and of course you will appreciate a lot has changed. But then, when I was at Kipi, then, and I even went back, because like I told you, I'm also in the process of patenting something else. Probably some of you have seen me talk once in a while on TV about it. I went back and, I was like, okay, if I was patenting the same today, will you still give it to me? The answer was the same, and that is it. Under Kenyan law, a mobile money transfer process cannot be patented because it's a business method. Out of curiosity, I went around trying to dig up in the internet to see if such a thing has ever been done elsewhere. Very interestingly, I didn't find one or two. I found more than 5 different money transfer patterns. I was surprised. So I went back, and I went back to Kipi, and I was like, how comes some countries, issue these patterns and not this one? But anyway, to cut the long story short, that was it. And I think from yesterday it has been talked. But anyway, so I now have a copyright certificate, proud owner of it. For what? I've never known, honestly. I've been talking to many friends who are lawyers. I mean, if it was a seesaw, this side and this side, then you discover that, I mean, the input both sides is so equal that you don't know which side to go. Apart from the fact that, hey, yeah, we can look at it, we just pay the money for the file, and then we pick it from there. The reason why I'm talking about this is just that it happened that I have 2 patents under examination right now. I hope from Kipi someone say that after I filed it, I can talk about it, right? I have the Integrated Navigation Director. I've been on TV talking about that. I have a self-sustainable CCTV system for cities and towns. This one is causing some problems over there, but it is there under examination. But interesting, I still have the same spillover problems from the MobiCash Mpesa. That was my experience.